Hey, what's up guys? My name's Fonz and welcome back to Genshin Impact. Today we are talking about each of the characters that are going to be coming out in version 2.1 that we're going to be able to wish for. I was thinking about including Aloy in the video, but I think I'm going to stick to characters that not everyone is going to guaranteed get. Because even if you don't get her in 2.1, you're guaranteed to get her in 2.2. And I think the only thing you'll be technically missing out on if you don't have a PlayStation is her bow. But there's so many bows in the game, who cares? All right, so we're going to start right off the bat with the Raiden Shogun. I cannot express to you enough how excited I am for this character, but we are going to talk about her abilities and what she's going to be bringing to the table. Now, obviously we don't know everything. We don't actually have a description. We don't have any gameplay with her. So I'm going to be having the trailer playing in the background and then kind of just talking about what we know at this point. Before we get too far into the video, I do want to point out that I don't look at leaks at all, literally at all. So if you guys have any information from leaks, please do your best to try to leave them out of the comment section. I want to try to keep this as spoiler leak free as possible. Please don't post oh, actually her scaling is this. I don't want that. That's not what we're here for. So starting off talking about the Raiden Shogun, she is an Electro-Gnosis user that wields a polearm. Now we kind of touched on this in the Let's Talk Archons video, but with Baal being the Electro Archon, I got a feeling she's gonna pretty much be our strongest Electro character. Her normal attacks look pretty good, the animations seem really cool, but it seems like we're gonna be investing so heavily in energy recharge into this character, trying to make sure that she has her ultimate up as much as possible. Her normal attacks might not be that crucial. First off, we have an elemental skill, similar to Fischl's C1, where Oz does a little attack. It seems like she's gonna have something similar to that, where you're gonna be able to activate the skill and do some off-field damage if you do end up switching to another character. Seems pretty good. I'm not sure how much damage it's really going to do, but I do think it will play into the ult in some way, shape, or form. If you saw in the trailer, she had the ring behind her at one point, but she didn't have that the whole time. So what if using your skill and then doing a bunch of normal attacks charges up your ult, you pop your ult, and maybe your ult's stronger or something? I don't know, just kind of throwing ideas out there. In general, her skill looked cool. Meh. But obviously her most interesting part of her kit is going to be her ult. Her elemental burst uses her titty sword, pulls out her sword, switches to electro damage completely, which can't be overridden. So if you have Chongyun that makes all your abilities cryo, or if you have Bennett C6 that makes all of your abilities pyro, you cannot be overridden. And you're immune to electro charge damage, which is pretty nice. Because that's the most annoying thing ever when you're fighting with electro and you're standing next to water and all of a sudden you're and you're just stuck there for no reason. Can't stand that. So that's great that she is immune to that. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it's a nice quality of life thing with her. Now, one of the interesting parts about her ult is that all damage that she does is considered elemental burst damage. So using artifact sets possibly Noblesse, but even better, Emblem of the Severed Fate, because that way you have higher energy recharge, and the higher you boost your energy recharge, the more damage her ult will do. And like I said, all that damage when she's in that state is considered to be burst damage. So yeah, I mean, in general, that seems super exciting. So I would definitely start farming up that Emblem of the Severed Fate if you haven't already, if you plan on pulling for her. Last thing about her elemental burst is that she does actually recharge energy for your team. So while she's out there doing damage, she's also recharging energy for the rest of your team, which is going to be awesome, which means she could be an insane sub DPS. I'm thinking combos like her and Child. I just try to pair everybody with Child. I got a feeling that combos like her and Xingqiu are going to be crazy. Now, the one thing that I am a little curious about, and I want to hear your thoughts on, obviously, if you don't know the answer to the question, if you're just speculating with me, I wonder what her Ascension stat is going to be. Is it going to be energy recharge? Because one of her passive talents is the further you get past 100% energy recharge, it actually buffs her burst damage. So if you can get her up to 200% energy recharge, we could be talking about a huge buff to her burst damage. But is she going to have that inherently built in on her kit, or are we going to get electro damage or something like that built into her kit? I think honestly I'd prefer the electro damage, because energy recharge is not hard to come by. You can build up energy recharge real quick. But for me personally, I'm kind of trying to balance it a little bit. I'm looking for a lot of crit rate, crit damage, obviously, but I'm also looking for a lot of attack percent pieces with high energy recharge. So if you get a piece with crit rate, crit damage, and energy recharge with attack percent, you've hit the gold mine. For instance, just real quick, I've got Lisa holding all of her pieces at the moment, and I really don't have any pieces that are amazing. I did get lucky and get an electro damage goblet, but the problem is that I don't know if this is going to be the best piece for her. Will it be better to just invest in energy recharge? Should we even focus on attack percent pieces? Which I did end up getting an attack percent Sands with 21% crit damage, a crit rate hat with decent stats that I'll probably roll into. The only reason why I'm holding out on this one a little bit is in case that I do come across one with crit rate and crit damage, but this one does have that attack stat and energy recharge, so this is going to be pretty hard to replace, like just in the time that she's going to be coming out. I probably won't get a better piece for her before then. And lastly, I got a pretty nasty flower that I'm pretty happy with. Unfortunately, rolled a lot on defense, whatever, but it did get 28% crit damage. That's one of the highest crit damages that I've gotten in the game, and I'm really excited that it gets to go on Raiden Shogun. Yeah, in general, I think that she is going to be a character that's going to be really intricate to build, and I think she could have a lot going on, so I'm really excited to see what she brings to the table. Next, let's talk about Kakomi, because this is a really interesting character. You've got kind of two camps talking about Kakomi right now. You've got the people that are like, oh, she's got negative 100 crit rate, who cares about Kakomi? And then you've got the other people that are like, you think that matters? You think that matters? She'll still be a DPS. I don't really know where I fall, I'll be honest. To me, she kind of just seems like a 5-star Barbara. Like, is that offensive? So she's a Hydro Vision Catalyst user, just like Barbara, and she's mainly focused on healing. Her skill seems pretty nice where it actually attacks nearby enemies and heals your team at the same time. Kind of throwing Sayu to the wayside all quick, but that's fine. She's still going to be on my exploration team. And her ultimate seems to boost the damage of her normal charged attacks and her elemental skill damage. All in all, this character looks beautiful. I love how she looks. Her animations are gorgeous. I'm really excited just for her to be in the game. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up spending my life savings on the Raiden Shogun banner, so I probably won't be pulling for Kakomi personally, but if you're a waifu over meta person, then absolutely Kakomi is a must pull. IMO. Now the thing with Kakomi is that she is pretty much like built to be a healer. Like everything about her screams healer. In the live stream, the VAs even said she enjoys an increased healing bonus. Literally verbatim, that's what they said. So my thinking is, does she still do damage, but she scales off of her healing bonus? Like, what if her damage is based off of her healing bonus? That could be really interesting. If she scaled off of her healing bonus for damage, it could be pretty good, but the problem is that you're gonna have like an inherent cap. Unless she has some sort of passive ability that gives her more healing bonus based on her HP or based on her attack or something like that, then eventually everyone's gonna hit a certain point where you just can't scale anymore. So maybe they won't scale off of healing bonus. The more I talk about it, the more it sounds like they probably won't, but let me know what you think. And let's just go ahead and talk about it. Her negative 100 crit rate. Will this make her useless? No. It's not going to make her useless. I'll be honest, there's some people that are still talking like she's going to be a really solid DPS, and that's great. I hope that she's like viable in every sense that everyone wants to use her. People make DPS Barbara builds all the time. No one's bothering those dudes anymore. They're just sitting in the corner of their library with their calculators crunching numbers trying to figure out how to make Barbara do more damage. Who cares? But Kakomi in general, like I said, if you do end up wanting to build into her, you can absolutely get over 100 crit rate. It's possible. It's not going to be easy. If you haven't gone for a lot of like really high crit rate pieces now, it might not be feasible before she comes out. Maybe it will. You got a little bit of time, like a month, but I don't think she's going to just be like null and void. I think she's a really well designed character because they force her into a certain slot, like a specific role. And I've got a feeling she's going to do that role better than anybody. Right now in the game, Zhongli is that guy that's like, I'm not letting anybody die. Kakomi could take that mantle. Kakomi could literally be the best healer in the game. I don't know. I think Kakomi's going to be awesome. I think we need to wait till we get closer to see what she's going to be capable of. But in general, Hydro Catalyst user, healer doesn't really excite a lot of people. And if we're being honest, you're going to absolutely see some crazy stuff with her. Just don't get baited right away. Same thing with Raiden Shogun. Do not get baited right away. Wait a couple days, see what everyone says about her, watch the guides, watch the reviews, and see if she's someone that you want to pull for. I'm pulling for her no matter what, just because she's another Archon. I want to absolutely collect all the Archons as they come out, but that's just me. Do not let the fact that she's an Archon and she's like, you know, this super hyped up character make you just drop money on her, because you might get her and hate her. Also, another thing to consider is what your account has, like what your account is capable of. I have a Skyward Spine on my account, which is an energy recharge 5-star polearm. So like, she's already got a weapon. If you don't have any good polearms, if you haven't done the battle pass and got the death match, or you don't have, you know, like Favonius or something like that, you might not have weapons that are going to be really good on her. Just something to keep in mind. Last but not least, let's talk about Kujuo Sara. Now, Kujuo Sara is kind of the most like interesting character to me, if I'm honest. And I say interesting in the way where I don't really understand her kit. So she seems like she does a lot of buffing for a team, which is dope. She's an electro vision user that wields a bow, but most of her kit is based around buffing you and your other teammates. So her elemental skill, from what I could gather, she does a backdash, and then the next arrow that she shoots is going to do AoE electro damage, which seems really good because it buffs your attack and it restores a bunch of energy for all of your teammates. Her burst, she summons her giant crow wings and summons a bunch of lightning that does like a splash AoE damage that goes everywhere. And from the sounds of it, it seems like it might like chain, like it might like kill something and move to something else, or I don't know. Maybe it just does a certain like formation every single time, but it looks really interesting, and it also provides another attack bonus. There are absolutely going to be reasons to pull for all of these characters, and I will definitely be pulling on the Raiden Shogun banner, so I'll probably have a couple copies of Sara. Just remember to kind of sit back and actually look and see if these characters are going to be beneficial for your account. Don't spend money if you don't have it. If you don't have the disposable income to spend money on the game, don't spend money. I know I was talking in the reveal stream about like the crystal top up. I'm like, oh bro, the crystals are topping up. This is going to be sick. You get double on all the crystals again. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. It's really nice that they're doing that, because I've pretty much only bought the $100 top up like 2 or 3 times. So I got $400 worth of crystals and I only spent like 300, at least on the $100 one. But now I'm going to get that again. But that doesn't mean that you should go spend $100 now and then spend another $100 when it refreshes so that you can get another big like double bonus or whatever if you don't have the money. I just really don't want you guys like dropping a bunch of money because you feel like you have to. If you have the disposable income, if it's your birthday and your mom just gave you $100, sure. If that's what your thing is, if you want to spend it on Genshin Impact, sure, more power to you. And happy birthday. But if you don't have the disposable income, definitely don't like feel like you have to pull on these characters. For a lot of people, Raiden Shogun is going to be a must pull. Must pull. That's what everyone says. Venti's a must pull. Zhongli is a must pull. These characters change your account in such a way that gameplay just feels different. Raiden Shogun could do that as well. But remember, you don't have to have all this stuff saved up for right when she comes out. Her banner is going to be up for like 20 days. So you got a little bit of time. Go mow some lawns. You got this. Last thing I want to touch on before we end the video is gonna just be, and I put this at the end because I don't like focusing on negativity, and I'm probably not gonna cut a lot of this. I'm just gonna like cut in between like my pauses where I'm thinking, is all the hate around the Ian live stream. There's a lot of people really mad about that, saying that like, oh, it was so cringy, everything felt so scripted, there was like fake laughter, the voice actors didn't know the game. Yeah, they're voice actors. What do you expect? The fact that like people are mad that they didn't know what they were talking about for the game and they're just reading the script blows my mind. What do you mean? It seems crazy to me to be mad that they don't know the game. Zach Aguilar plays Genshin Impact. He's absolutely said that before. He talks about when he's excited about certain characters in the game. You know, some of the voice actors do play, but you getting mad at them because they don't know like everything in the game, or you know, some of them just don't play. They're voice actors. Get over yourself. But when it comes to like the whole like them being scripted and like their fake laughter, like yeah, there was moments where it was really cringy, and there's moments where it was like very cheesy, and like it was like you could tell it was scripted. You could tell the whole thing was scripted. But at the end of the day, a multi-million-dollar company like MiHoYo is not gonna let a bunch of 20 and 30-year-old kids on their live stream representing their company while speaking a different language than their native language and just go on there without a script. It's just not going to happen. I have a marketing background, and when you have like faces of your company that don't know a whole lot of what's going on behind the scenes, you have to like set them on the path and then direct them. You can't let them just go free because they're going to mess something up. They're going to say something they weren't supposed to say, and then the community is going to be pissed about that. All MiHoYo did was make sure that they had a super strict script that they had to stick to the entire time to make sure that they didn't have to course correct after and post on Twitter explaining why Zach Aguilar accidentally said this and he didn't mean that. Oh no, Raiden Shogun doesn't do this, she does that, but Zach said this, he didn't mean to say that, he meant to say this. Like, that's why they do stuff like that. I get in between like them having like their little banter back and forth obviously feels very fake, but get over it. Literally get over it. It's just a live stream. You went there for the information, you got the information. I don't think the mass majority that doesn't play Genshin Impact is going to look at it too far. And they're especially not going to look at it and be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to play that game. Those people are cringe. I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. Like I said, with a marketing background, I can understand why they script everything. You don't want to have to correct something that somebody said. And if I'm MiHoYo, I'm certainly not letting a bunch of 20 and 30-year-olds go on a stream representing my company and just talk freely about the game, especially if I know they don't play it. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about this in the comment section, I'll be honest, because I feel like there's a lot of toxicity about it. So let's try to keep the conversation in the comment section about the characters. Let me know which character you are most excited for coming out in version 2.1. I know I personally can't wait for Raiden Shogun. That's for sure. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy, drop a like down below. Thank you for the insane support on all the videos lately. You guys have been killing it, and I super appreciate it. So subscribe if you guys are new around here, because I know there's a lot of new faces, and we appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. Much love. And before we go, a huge shout out to the members of the channel. Thank you so much for helping make these videos possible. I love you guys. Seriously, you guys are amazing. I really appreciate everyone watching, everyone hanging out. It means the world. So thank you again. I love you guys. Good luck on all your summons, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.